Guys, one thing I'm starting to realise, yeah, as I research the job market more,
So one of the reasons the job market in the UK is so bad right now, and no one seems to be talking about it, is the changes.
So I wanted to come on here and talk about something that
Can we just talk about finding a job after uni?
I really feel like I'm never gonna get a job again. Like, I'm so scared because, like, I have been unemployed for 3 months.
Today we're diving into the struggle of job market. There was a time when college degrees used to be a guaranteed ticket to a good job, but times have changed now. People with multiple degrees are struggling to find job, and even if they find, pay is so low that you would only able to survive. Now let's take a look at the people who are struggling to find job and have come in front to give their view.
Check this out. There is a Berkeley professor who says that best CS grads with 4.0 GPAs coming out of Berkeley still cannot get jobs in tech. The tech job market has dried up. You have outspoken CEOs like the one from Klarna who says that AI can do all the jobs. Reporting goes further. It says that this is an irreversible trend and that graduates are facing a money pinch over the next 4 years because they cannot find an opportunity. Tech companies laid off over 37,000 people since January. As a founder, I get to see in a lot of different companies, and unfortunately, I've seen staff from some of our clients be laid off and they're not hiring them back. What they're doing is actually going into their salaries and using that money, hire an AI implementation partner who can do that job for them. A lot of these roles like connecting databases, processing claims, reviewing different tracks, doing billing, like all of these rote repetitive tasks are being automated, and there's huge displacement. Job hunting is a real problem for this day's college graduate. What do you think the solution is? How can we help find jobs for young people, or how can they find meaningful employment?
Can we just talk about finding a job after uni? So I graduated like 6 months ago and I have just got my first interview. I have been applying like crazy. Like, it's literally a full-time job. Like, it's like you literally work so hard to get your degree, and then it's almost like you have no time to feel like you've accomplish something because you're just constantly like, okay, like, get a job quickly, like, and everyone's like, no, you don't have experience, like, we need someone with experience. And it's almost like that degree is just kind of like for nothing. Why is it so hard to work? Like, I'm offering you labor. Why is this a thing? Like, I don't get it. Especially if you don't really have experience. I just don't feel like it was pushed on students enough at uni. Then you start from square one, like applying for apprenticeships, applying for work experience, volunteering. Like, we're not taking on any more people, and I'm like, reiterate the non-paid part. Like, you don't know what you're doing, you feel like a bum. I just would like to know what this system is. Like, why is this a thing?
Can anyone explain to me how I have 2 degrees? I have 2 degrees. Oh, and a certificate. A little extra, right? I have a certificate. May not be a master's, but it's something extra, along with the 2 degrees, you know? I'm trying to apply for jobs right now, and the thing is that the only person I have responding to me is a man from a tech company saying, hey, you want to answer some customer service problems?
I'm literally folding resumes, a stack of them, so that I can go in person to places and say, are you guys hiring? It's honestly a little bit embarrassing because I'm literally applying for like minimum wage jobs. This is not what I expected. I graduated college with 2 degrees in communications and acting. I speak 3 languages. Oh, this sucks. Like, I just want to be a TikToker, if I'm being so for real with you.
There's no need even to have a college degree at all, or even high school. If somebody graduated from a great university, that may be an indication that they will be capable of great things, but it's not necessarily the case.
You can learn anything you want for free on the internet. Be mindful of how you use your time. If you're improving yourself, give us a follow and share with your friends. We'll help you on your journey.
So I wanted to come on here and talk about something that is really starting to annoy me. So I applied for a job at TJ Maxx a few weeks ago, and they denied my application. They couldn't even call me. They just sent me some automated email. So I went in today and I was like, so what was the reason I didn't get hired? And she was like, oh, like, you just like don't have enough experience. There was candidates that had like more experience than you. And, I asked her if it was about my tattoos, obviously, because I know a lot of places don't like tattoos. She said that wasn't the reason. I don't feel like that's true, but whatever, I'll leave it at that. So, I'm just wondering how, like, teenagers and young adults who haven't had a job before, how are they supposed to get employed if these places are only hiring people with experience? So, younger people just can't get a job because they haven't worked enough? So, like, they'll deny a 16-year-old a job because they don't have enough work experience? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I do okay with money as is, so I didn't, like, need the job, but I would have liked it to have made some extra money so I could pay off my debt quicker. I want you guys to talk about in the comments what it's been like for you finding a job recently, like if it's been easy or if it's been difficult, and I want to know, like, what kind of experience you guys have, because I want to see if I'm the only person that's, like, experiencing this right now or not. And, you know, I hate that my tattoos are such a defining factor for me getting a job or not. Like, just because I have tattoos doesn't mean I'm not going to be a good worker. Like, I do not understand that at all. Because quite literally some of the most smart, intelligent people I've ever met are people with tattoos and piercings. I could be wrong, but I've seen that, like, in Europe, like, people with tattoos and piercings can get jobs, like, way easier there. So why is America not hopped on the bandwagon? Another thing, too, is, like, all these places, they say that they're hiring, but I feel like they're not. Because I shop at all of these stores and I see hiring now signs, but those signs have been up for months. And I know plenty of people are looking for work. So how have they still not hired people? Sorry for the long ranting video, but I just feel like this is something that needs to be talked about. It's so annoying. And for anyone that is looking for a job right now that is younger and doesn't have experience, I truly wish you the best of luck because it is very hard out here right now.
Getting degrees for nothing. Degree inflation is what happens when more jobs require you to have.
So I got to this original video through a stitch of somebody who was saying they were really struggling to find a job because all of these jobs that, you know, they would have been able to do without a college degree in like the 80s or 90s, now they require at least a bachelor's. And I wanted to add to this because this absolutely aligns with my experience, but from another side. And that is that I can tell you these employers are definitely extremely freaking delusional because, you know, while they're passing up all the people who really want these jobs and are trying to get these jobs, you know who they're targeting is actually people like me who are chasing jobs in a completely different area and don't want those jobs. So employers are complaining and they're like, hey, yeah, no one wants to work. It's crazy how we can't find anyone. It's not that they can't find people who want that job. It's that they're passing over all of the people who are like really fighting to get that job and on the delusional premise, like absolutely delusional premise that they're going to get somebody with like a graduate degree with like 10 years of experience in a scientific field, multiple scientific publications, who's currently like working in biotech on a track to put them in like biotech leadership, that they're going to get that person to work as a receptionist. Like I said, delusional. And I'm not pulling that out of nowhere. Like, I'm a biotech worker. I currently work on like managing research projects for a large manufacturer of MRI machines. And the trajectory for me from here is like, I could pretty easily get into like regional research management. I could go over human factors and like a lot of tracks to, in the next 1 to 3 years, put me into like the 6 figures, like very, very comfortable realm, right? So that's what I'm going to do because that aligns with my personal interests. And meanwhile, I am getting aggressively targeted by recruiters trying to bring me in for jobs like entry-level data clerk or, you know, an entry-level receptionist or administrative assistant or things that like I would have been interested in, you know, 5 years ago when I was looking for a job to put myself through school. And I did work a job like that 5 years ago, putting myself through school. But it's not a job that I want now. And I'm not shy about telling the recruiters this either. I'm like, hey, like, I don't want this job. Like, somebody with my degrees and experience isn't going to want this job. Like you're not going to find someone. But if you're willing to lower, you know, your recruiting standards and look for someone with like this set of experience instead, I could refer you to like 5 different people who would like love this job and would be able to start tomorrow. But they don't want to do that because, like I said, they're delusional.
So one of the reasons the job market in the UK is so bad right now, and no one seems to be talking about it, is the changes that were made to the IR35 tax laws. Now, if you don't know what IR35 is, essentially it is a tax law that determines if someone can work as self-employed and run for their own limited company for private and public sector organisations. So when they need to hire contractors instead of permanent staff, you would typically be outside IR35. Now, you may remember that we had the big lorry fiasco and so many lorry drivers, and people blamed it on Brexit, but realistically it was nothing to do with that. It was to do with IR35. And the main reason is people want to be paid fairly in the UK, which they typically aren't. Whereas someone like myself, I could quite easily earn 2 or 3 times more just by being a contractor. But there is that added risk. Now, the reason this has impacted the job market so badly is because those people who were contractors, outside IR35 contracts pretty much do not exist anymore. Most of them are inside IR35, or companies are doing FTC and hiring people on PAYE. Now, this is almost wiped out the junior job market, especially for graduates in things like computer science and finance, because most of those contractors just went back to permanent employment or they left the country. Now, for the people that went back to permanent employment, they're obviously going to be paid more money because they're typically senior staff, which means there's no money left to hire junior people and train them up. Now, a lot of them would have went back into working for a private sector consultancy organisation that provides services to companies in the public sector or in the private sector. And they're now paying more money for these people because these people are hired PAYE. Like myself, I work in consulting, but the day rates are higher because the private sector companies that employ contractors as consultants on PAYE have to charge more. So nobody is really winning here, and no one seems to want to talk about it, and no one is addressing how it isn't just contractors that are actually impacted, it's PAYE permanent members of staff as well. And because of all the tax implications and the law around this tax, companies don't want to take the risk and put someone through outside IR35 in case they are deemed not by HMRC, and then they come down with big fines.
Guys, one thing I'm starting to realise, as I research the job market more, I'm having more interviews, all of that, is that university degrees, are becoming more and more worthless. Like, listen, so the other day I had a job interview, right? This guy was there also, and he was telling me how he graduated a year ago. He got a first class at a Russell Group uni in a relatively good course, sorry. So when I asked him, so why are you applying for this job? Because he has an engineering degree, which is completely unrelated to the job, the sales job that I was applying for. And he said there's literally no flipping jobs, and his degree has basically been zero use. So it just makes me question, why am I here? Why the flip am I sat here, working for hours and hours on this degree that's basically I'm still gonna be unemployed. I genuinely feel like unless you're doing a degree like that's gonna lead you directly to a job such as medicine, healthcare, nursing, midwifery, all of that, there is no point coming to uni because you're gonna be in the same position you are before the degree. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's stressing me out so much finding out how many people are applying for the same jobs as me, but they have full university degrees at Russell Group's first class in like good courses and still fighting for their lives trying to get hired at literally like sales jobs, McDonald's, stuff like this. And it's just insane, right? Because growing up and like in school, they make it sound like you get your degree and you're sorted for life. All you have to do is get your degree, study for your degree, get a first class 2-1 whatever, and you're sorted. That is not the case anymore. I don't know how it used to be. That is not the case anymore, genuinely. If you're considering coming to uni, all I'm saying is, honestly, look at what pathway you're gonna go down, and
I really feel like I'm never gonna get a job again. Like, I'm so scared because, like, I have been unemployed for 3 months. I'm not eligible for unemployment because I just moved here. I am so stressed out. Like, this has never happened to me before. Like, I've always had a job. Like, I was an honor student, like 3rd in my class, so successful in high school and college. And I have a bachelor's degree in poli-sci. I have 2 years of experience in mental health. I'm a great worker. I'm so organized, but nobody will even give me an interview. And I was crying on the phone with my mom because I was like, what if I literally can't find a job? Like, I've been applying for months. Like, I literally can't find anything. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, am I just gonna live with my parents for the rest of my life? Because, like, I'm not kidding you. I literally cannot get an interview anywhere. And I have applied to hundreds, if not thousands of jobs in the past few months. I literally don't know what to do. Like, I'm genuinely so scared. Like, I really am terrified. Like, I don't know what is happening in the world right now, but like, I am a good candidate. I don't know what's happening.
I have 2 bachelor's degrees, but I'm currently unemployed and I'm trying to find a job and I'm not able to find a job. I feel like if you are not currently looking for a job right now in today's job market, then you will not understand how actually hard it is to find a decent paying job. Even if you have all the credentials, I have 2 degrees, I have experience, I have a good resume, I have it all, and I'm still not able to find anything. And people ask me, like, what do you want to do? Like, what's your, like, dream career? What's your dream job? And honestly, I don't have one.
I don't dream of working. I don't want to work. There's no career or job that I can think of that I would be like, yeah, I would love to do that every single day and spend more of my time there than in my home that I pay a crap ton of money for. Like, no, I don't dream of working. My dream life, my dream day is to wake up by the beach or some body of water and drink my coffee and read my book, then take an afternoon nap and then read my book inside and then have a nice dinner. That's my dream daily life. But I know in order to get there, I need some kind of money, and Monopoly money won't work. So that means I have to get a good paying job, but those are not available.
Day after day, I log on to this app and I see so many college students struggling to get a job. And let me tell you why I think that is. I didn't take the traditional route and finish college before I got into the workforce. I actually got my first full-time job and promotion while in the middle of college. When I got out of high school, I went to a community college and I started to work at, like, doing work study, did some call center work. But it wasn't until I got to a school where I was working in education where I got to meet people with degrees, and like not just a degree, multiple degrees, and they gave me insights on their career paths. My principal at the time, she told me something that stuck with me to this day. She said the reason why a lot of people are not getting jobs and they just got out of college is because employers are prioritizing skill sets and experience over degrees. The reason being is because a degree communicates that you can withstand something, that you can endure something, that you can go through a program and finish. Great. But that does not communicate or guarantee that you have the necessary skills, the work ethic, the organization skills, just the experience overall. And employers want that skill versus experience, because one thing that all these people who I met in that career path who have multiple degrees said, that nothing in school prepares you for the job that you're going to work after you finish school. I've seen so many people who got the degree, but who do not have the work ethic, who don't have the skill set. So they get that job and then they fumble it because they just weren't taught how to handle a proper job. I'm so thankful. At the same time, I wish I did finish, because I had like one semester left and my funding got cut, which I just got back in school. So I'm really, really happy. I start in the fall. To have the experience and the skill sets and the degree, that's a double whammy. Why I always like encourage, like if you're in college, do internships, do work studies, so you can have some type of skill set. So when you get out of school, you're just not like, I have a degree, hire me, because that means nothing. Unfortunately, this is wrong. I just want to let you know that this is not okay, because this is the path that millennials and Gen Z were told to take, and that this would secure them a financially stable future. They'd be okay. Their kids will be okay. And that's not what's happening. And that's why there's so much frustration. Let me just emphasize that this is not okay. Add some razzle dazzle on it to really like piss me off is y'all are sitting up giving people who have master's degrees entry-level jobs with some minimum wage. Like, what is $15 an hour? Like, I wouldn't even accept that, and I don't even have a degree. Like, what? And how I've been finessing it is like, I don't have the degree, but I have so many college credits. Like, if I wanted to like cash those in to get a degree, if I was able to do so, I would definitely do it. So I've been like spinning it off. Like, unfortunately, the work system takes a little like finessing. You have all these college graduates, all these alumni, and now what? Unless you know someone or a friend of a friend and know networking, which brings up my next point. I only got in my school because of who my mother knew. This world is built on who you know. You can do the, proper way, the traditional way, go to school, get your credentials, and then what? And then what? And I feel so bad. I also feel lucky that I had the mind to get in the workforce so early. So now that I'm 29 years old, I can, spend my skills how I want to. But it's actually insane.
If your university degree hasn't yet translated into job offers and you're still sat around applying to jobs every single night and being rejected by them all, then you're probably doing something wrong, and it's probably time to change your approach. Before we get into the things you need to start doing, we need to look at the things you need to stop doing. So you need to stop relying on your qualifications, you need to stop relying on a traditional CV, and you need to stop blaming the job market. If you do any of these three things, you are absolutely wasting your time. In a society where 1/3 of the population, on average, has a degree or some similar qualification, it's no longer enough to rely on your degree to stand out. You need to be doing something extra. You need to be showing recruiters and hiring managers why they need you. And the only way you can do that is by doing what 99% of the job market aren't doing. Because if you're doing what 99% of the job market are doing, you're not going to stand out. So you need to be doing something different. You need to be in the 1% group. Here's 4 things that will help you do that. 1, create your digital CV. 2, build a stack of industry connections. 3, share content online that showcases your expertise and shows why recruiters and hiring managers need to be hiring you. And 4, feature your portfolio and all the work you've ever done, all the achievements you've ever received on your social media profile. So no matter what social media profile you choose to go for, make sure that your portfolio is featured on it. The truth is that finding a grad job really shouldn't be this hard. You know, you shouldn't be sat around every single night applying for jobs and just being rejected by them all. And if you are feeling like that, and if that is your reality, the chances are you're doing something wrong. You know, when I was a student and I was about to graduate, that was me. I was sat around applying to jobs every single night and being rejected by them all. And it took me ages to figure out what I was doing wrong. But the second I admitted that, you know, I couldn't blame anyone but myself, and it was me that was doing something wrong, and it was the way I was applying that was wrong, that's when everything changed. That's when I really attracted the right people, attracted the right opportunities, because I finally realised it was up to me to put myself out there and find the job of my dreams and attract the recruiters that I wanted to attract.